The Last of Us has finally returned with Season 2, created by Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann, based off of his video games. This show stars Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, amongst others, and this is going to be spoiler-filled for episodes 1 through 3. I've watched the first 3, and I'm very excited to talk about them, particularly 2, for obvious reasons, but I also want to give a big thank you to Pair Eyewear for sponsoring this video. Pair Eyewear isn't just glasses, it's a style revolution. They're redefining eyewear by offering top quality, customizable prescription and blue light glasses that fit every unique style. Their magnetic top frames let you effortlessly switch up your look in a snap, ensuring you'll never view eyewear the same way again. I used to wear glasses all the time. I got them in first grade. I could never get used to contacts. It was really hard for me to put contacts in. I just never really enjoyed that process, so glasses were always the way to go. Until as I got older, I got laser eye surgery, and now I use them to read or sometimes to watch movies if I'm far away in the theater. And these ones from Pair Eyewear work perfect for me. I really enjoy them, and they do exactly what I need them to do in regards to reading or watching movies from far away. And it's so easy to switch the different frames too, if you want to have a different looking style like this or like this one. It's really, really easy, but this is actually my favorite look without any of the top frames. The base frame I chose was Kirby, and the base frame color I chose was crystal clear. And the top frames I have are the burgundy, as well as the wood grain. My experience ordering these on their website was incredibly easy. It was so much simpler to just buy them online versus a store, and the glasses are actually quite affordable. So check out Pair Eyewear at the link in the description below and get 15% off your first pair. My unique promo code is ChrisStuckman15, and the QR code is attached here as well. Thank you so much to Pair Eyewear for sponsoring this video. We're picking up some years later when Ellie and Joel are very estranged from one another. They're settled in one of the most prosperous towns of this post-apocalyptic world, but Ellie's at a very important part in her life. Childhood is not that far in the rearview mirror. She can still kind of see it, but she'd like to be an adult, and that's ahead of her. And that doesn't really include Joel, her father figure, and so they're fighting a lot. And this first episode definitely has aspects of the game in it. I played The Last of Us Part 2 twice when it came out. There was no joy to be found in discussing that game on the internet at that time. I found it to be a very gutsy and risky game that, although I didn't like it quite as much as the first, and there were some creative decisions, namely killing Joel, that were difficult to get over, I appreciated what that game was trying to do. And just like the first, pushing boundaries, not just technologically, but in storytelling. And when it comes to Season 2 of Last of Us, I just kept thinking to myself, are they really going to kill Joel as early as he dies in the game? Will Season 2 really be exactly like The Last of Us Part 2? Because I thought what they were going to do was something along the lines of those books that you got that take place in between various Star Wars movies. There are tons of books that take place in between A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back, like the continuing adventures of Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Leia. And I figured that they might try to do something like that, just to take advantage of Pedro Pascal's massive stardom. Because when you have a show or a movie and you've got a big star in it, that's a big draw for viewers to come in. If they killed off Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible 3, I don't know that they would have made Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, Fallout, and all those other movies. I think they probably would have ended. And so killing your hero, especially someone who is played by a beloved star, is an incredibly bold move. So I assumed that they would stretch it out a little bit longer and maybe kill him at the end of Season 2, or maybe even just have The Last of Us Part 2 game be a few seasons from now. And they would do some Game of Thrones kind of stuff where they go off script. They did not do that. They just were like, bye, which I have to say was far more heartbreaking in this show than it was for me in the game. And I think it's just because I'm slightly more attached to Pedro Pascal's portrayal of Joel than I am the video game Joel. Troy Baker is a genius. That guy is masterful. I'm currently playing Indiana Jones in the Great Circle, and he has one of the most realistic Harrison Ford impressions I've ever heard. Incredible actor. This is not a slight to him. I just think that when you're looking at a human being, you just tend to relate more than necessarily in a video game. There is sort of like this disconnect, for me anyway, when I'm playing a video game than when I'm watching a TV show or a movie. I can connect on a human level so much more to a film or a television show than I can to a video game. I certainly was affected by those games. I just was so much sadder watching Bella Ramsey scream and cry and try to get Joel to come back to life. And I was just like, it's not going to happen. They did it. They actually did it. And I had to give them major applause for being willing to go there, especially this early. I read an interview with Craig Mazin where he said that it was important for him to do it this early because a lot of fans were anticipating it coming and he didn't want to torment us. It's actually oddly respectful to have done it this way. Caitlin Dever as Abby is remarkable in episode 2, an Emmy-worthy performance. So good. And I also read that she was dealing with considerable personal loss at the time, having recently lost her mother within a period of days. And that was an astounding performance that she pulled off, let alone that she was able to show up and do it. I really have nothing but great things to say about her work. And despite, as a character, you're like, oh, Ellie, get your revenge, girl. Just go get it. Obviously, I've played the games. I know how the story works out. And the show thus far has been fairly accurate in regards to portraying the games, sometimes to a detriment because I want new things and I don't want to just see like a copy and paste version of something I've already played. So one of the things I respected the most about episode 2 was that there were some changes. Yes, the ultimate finale is the same, but the idea of this siege happening, this massive battle taking place, and they can intercut between what's happening with Joel and Ellie, and this attack really just heightened the pace of the whole episode, and it was a really beautiful piece of art. It's strange because in my heart of hearts, I would love for more adventures with Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey as Joel and Ellie. I want to see those actors in these characters for a very long time. I'm not going to get that though, and I have to admit, I'm kind of gutted by it. I really wanted more of those characters together. I do think this was handled pretty much flawlessly. I have really no complaints at all. I was in awe of the writing and the directing. I just, I'm an emotional being and I want my characters together. But they really did a phenomenal job. Craig Mazin is a really great writer, obviously, with Chernobyl and this. He mines backstory out of the characters very efficiently in dialogue, which is tough to do sometimes without sounding like you're front-loading a lot of exposition. Isabella Merced as Dina is providing the perfect amount of warmth. There's some humor here that is sorely needed in such a dark show, but I also like how in episode 3 particularly, when her and Ellie start on their journey to Seattle, Ellie is like all fire and brimstone. She's like, let's go kill these guys. I'm done. And Dina's able to sit back and be like, look, we need to plan. Here's all the supplies you need. You need this, you need that. Otherwise, you're going to die in like 2 seconds. She can balance out Ellie's rage with some much needed organization and planning. Something else I liked about episode 3 was the town bigot who was upset at seeing Ellie and Dina kiss at the dance is the guy in episode 3 who's like, I'm going to help you. I'm on your side. These people need to die. And it's interesting to see how they've maneuvered these characters that obviously have very different outlooks on life to find a commonality. As great as Pedro Pascal is in episode 2 in those final moments, Bella Ramsey is really the one that made me as heartbroken as I was watching it. Ramsey's performance in those scenes is a gut punch of the highest order. This show is really good. The game, obviously, great too, but the show, I think, is finding this really great balance between genuinely heartbreaking, sad stuff and humor. And that's a big credit to Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin for just crafting these characters the way they are. I cannot wait to see how the rest of this season goes. I think this is a phenomenal start. This feels like some really great television to me. Guys, thank you so much, as always, for watching. Look forward to more videos very soon. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.